Thanks, Tommy. Very kind introduction as always, so greatly appreciated. So, yeah, thank you all for having me. We've only got 20 minutes. We're going to jump straight in. We're talking about the personal economy today and what does that actually mean? And fundamentally what that means to me is how do you thrive in any marketplace? How do you build a business that's sustainable? How do you get growth, irrespective of market conditions, whether it's going up or whether it's going down, irrespective of competition? How do you build a business that is actually sustainable? And for me, I've been doing this now for about 17 years, and I've had, I guess, a huge fascination in just seeing what high-performing people do and what high-performing agencies do. So I jump on a plane, I'm probably in a different real estate office at least once a month, somewhere around the country or overseas, and I learn a lot of ideas. I take those ideas, and fundamentally my role now is I take those ideas and I bring them back into my business. And a lot of my day-to-day work now is just spent coaching our team, sales guys, in terms of what these best ideas are and how they can grow their business. So hang on, we're going to jump straight into it. So normally what we might do is we kind of work towards a crescendo towards the end of the presentation to say, hey, here's the big takeaway lesson. I thought I'd just give it to you straight up front and say, here, you know, if you get nothing else out of the next 20, please take this away in this next 2 minutes. So for me, fundamentally, if you want to grow your business, if you want to make it sustainable, if you want to make it bulletproof, for where you want your business to go, these are the three areas that we focus on in our business. So number one is this. For an agent to be successful in the current marketplace and beyond, environment is absolutely critical. And what does that mean to me? Well, 10 years ago, if you'd asked me, is environment important in terms of the real estate office that you work, I would have said, look, it doesn't matter the environment. You can be successful anywhere. But the reality is, what we see now is that great agents come out of great agencies, right? So environment is absolutely critical for you. And what does that environment look like? I guess it's a new relationship between the agency and the agent, where the agency is very focused on leverage, putting a platform and an ecosystem around the salesperson so they can get on and do what's most important. And I've been coming here for 17 years, and three things haven't changed. The core fundamentals for any salesperson, if you want to be successful, is you've got to get world-class at prospecting, listing, and selling. That has not changed in 17 years in this business, right? So environment is absolutely critical. That's first key thing. Second thing I want you to really get your head around is in terms of the clear direction of your destination. Now, what does that mean? So in our business, we talk heavily about your current reality is you are currently listing and selling a certain amount of property. You've got a certain set of skills and you've got a certain set of behaviors. But your future reality or your destination of where you want to get to is over here. And so that's about the person that you need to become, right? So not just the appraisals, not just the listing, but what are the new skill sets that you're going to need to put into your business to make yourself bulletproof. And I'm going to spend some time talking about that. So just getting really clear about who you need to become. And then finally is what are those daily, I guess, habits and daily rituals that you need to execute. Because whilst they think it's great, if you've got a long-term vision and a long-term aspiration of where you want to get to, but where most real estate agents fall short is you actually need to execute each and every single day. So I'd be as bold as saying is that the difference between an okay agent versus a great agent, generally speaking, it's not a whole lot to do with skills once you've actually learnt and got some competency around your skill sets. The major difference for great agents is they're consistent and they do it each and every single day. Does that make sense? Right? So great agents will prospect 5 days per week every single day. An average agent, they'll do it 1 day per week, maybe 2. That's the major difference. So these are the three core fundamentals. As I said, we work on this day in, day out with our team to help them grow. So let's kind of dig in and have a look at that. So what's possible? If you got those three fundamentals right, yeah? What's possible in your real estate career now? So if you got your, in terms of your environment, if you got that right, if you got your destination and your goals right, and if you execute daily, what's possible? Well, here at AREC, we speak regularly about Agent 3.0 or 4.0. I think that that's now fundamentally shifted, and we're now seeing the emergence of what we call the super agent. So when you see someone like Alexander Phillips, selling 250 properties, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect we're going to start to see agents, this super agent style that's now starting to sell 300 homes per year, and I think that's possible. So if you think about your business right now, if you're not genuinely thinking about 2xing, 3xing, 4xing your business, then the reality is you're probably not playing a big enough game. Because if you look at the technology and the leverage and the skills that you can now acquire, there's never been a better opportunity to really, really grow your business. So start to think about what's possible if you actually got this stuff sorted out, right? So we're going to dig into this detail now around environment. So this is what we look at in our business. We call it the agent-agency relationship, right? And so fundamentally, we have a core belief that we're talking sales here today, not property management, but the salesperson sits at the epicenter of our business, right? And great agencies now understand that it's their core responsibility is to provide an ecosystem around that agent that frees them up to give them leverage, technology, systems, process, so they can get out and do what they do best, which is prospect, list, and sell, right? That's purely it. Now, I'm not saying, if you haven't got that environment where you are, am I saying you should pack up and leave the current agency where you are? No, I'm not saying that at all. But maybe you need to look at going into that partnership with your principal and start to look at getting these systems and process in place. So what does this actually mean? Coaching, mentoring, deal support, right? Fundamentally, that's what a real estate business is there to do for its salespeople, right? Second key thing we look at to free up a salesperson to be successful, we talk about in-house and offshore leverage. What does that mean? Well, before it would be, how do we take away every single administrative-based task from a salesperson and give it to our administration team? Now what great companies are doing, they're taking the admin away from the salespeople, they're taking the admin away from the admin team, they're taking those activities offshore so that everybody is now moving towards customer service-related activities, right? So that's a key fundamental of what we're seeing in the best agencies across the country. Third and fourth key responsibilities for this agent-agency relationship, key is the technology platform. So are you providing for your salespeople so that they can be mobile, so they can be digital, so they've got leverage, so they can get out there and prospect, list, and sell more? And then final responsibility is around world-class marketing and branding. Why? Because the consumer is now demanding that they want to deal with a sexy brand. So that's the platform when I talk about environment. So think about your environment. Are you in the middle of that environment? If you're a principal, are you providing that if you want to really substantially grow your business? Let's talk about destination. This is the end game. This is what we work on every single day in our organisation with the guys up here at Harris, right? So what is the destination? We've got, I think John Cunningham might be here for his president of Real Estate New South Wales, and he's done a fantastic job in promoting the pathway to professionalism. And part of that, and other great companies are endorsing that. You've seen John McGrath talking about it, Bresic Whitney, Nathan Alex at Owens Castle, great job as well. Just looking at what does the future of real estate look like? And these are the things that if you're serious about having a sustainable business in the future, by the way, I don't want you to look at this slide and go, okay, I've got 2 years, 3 years, 5 years to get myself to this level. There are agents in this room that are already operating at this level. So I would say to you that you need to move the needle in your business, and if you're not operating at this level now, then this is where you need to get to very quick in the next 6 to 12 months. And so great agents now know that it's about being consumer focused and being total transparent, right? How do you become totally transparent in as much as you possibly can with vendors, purchasers? How do you get total transparency around the transaction? I'm going to talk in a moment about one of our young guys, Tom Hector, who, I was side staged before, and John McGrath says, Phil, is it true that Tom Hector sold 31 properties last month? I said, yeah, it is. He said, how is that possible? 31 sales in a month for a young guy who'll do over 200 transactions this year. Well, he couldn't do it if he didn't have these technology platforms in place. So are you completely mobile? Are you paper-free? So for someone like Tom, he knows that he no longer has to run around all over Adelaide to get properties listed and sold. He just gets the go-ahead, digital document goes out, digital signature, and away he goes. So that's how he leverages his team and his environment. Real-time speed. Think about your business right now. Consumers don't want to wait for anything at all anymore, right? So are you putting technology platforms in place? So if you're selling a home in Sydney, someone's buying it from New York, they can jump online, they can download a contract, download a Form 1, download a specification list, whatever it might be. That's super important. Tribal following. Think about your business right now. Now, one of the biggest concerns that I've seen over this last 17-year journey in real estate is that there's a lot more distraction, a lot more noise now, right? But a tribal following is going to be critical for you. So don't be too fussed about having 25,000 friends on social media. I'm not saying that social media is not important, but it's not the strategy. It's a part of the strategy. But if you want a bulletproof business, have you got 500 to 1,500 squeaky clean contacts in your database that you're communicating with 9 to 15 times per year, building strong relationships so that these people, when it comes time to sell, they won't go with anybody else because you've got the existing relationship in place. Alexander Phillips this morning, anybody who's thinking of selling in 10 years is on his shortlist. I thought that was an interesting comment, right? How good's that? So tribal following. Extraordinary product knowledge. We talked to our team about this. Like just being okay about the knowledge on a property is no longer acceptable more. Have you got a full specification list on every single property that you're selling? Do you know intricate details about every single property? The end-to-end service offering, that was huge with Alex this morning. It's no longer about just listing a property and selling it, but Alex brings in his full SWAT team. They furnish it, they style it, they repair it, they get it done. They've got finance, refer, a whole lot. They're providing an end-to-end service offering. Team leadership skills is now massive. So if you're serious about being successful in this business, I think one of the key themes that came through loud and clear today is that every successful salesperson that you're seeing that's writing strong numbers, they work in a team environment. So you've now actually got to look at getting some great leadership skills in terms of building people around you. And final one, ultimately, great companies now understand that for salespeople to do exceptionally well, it's personal brand first, it's world-class resources second, and that equals market dominance. So what does that mean? It means before it was like the agency was the number one thing, and then the kind of the agent sat behind that. It's now flipped, where the agent is the most important brand, and your responsibility as a company is to provide the technology and the resources so that people can go out there and grow. So that's a really good look at saying, hey, how do I get myself to that level in the next 6 to 12 months? So we've spoken about environment. We've covered off on the end game, who you need to become. What does the strategy look like on a day-to-day basis, right? What are the things that you need to do? So I sat down with Tom, young guy, 27 years of age, who'll do over 200 transactions this year, right, just short of $2 million in fees. So Tom, what is it that you do every single day? So this is a guy, incredibly young, focused guy, and really, really simple stuff here. So first thing, he has a meeting with his team, 8 a.m., non-negotiable, with his guys, and it's with an agenda. So I'd say this to you, you're not serious about your business if you're not having a daily meeting, and if you haven't got a PA yet, have a meeting with yourself, and there should be an agenda, and it should be booked in your diary every single day. At the end of that meeting, everybody's organised and they're off, prospecting, listing, all those sorts of things, they're ready to go. So daily meeting, non-negotiable. Second key one is it's an oldie, but it's a goodie, right? Working with vendors is not vendor management. To Tom, it's a prospecting activity because he knows if he talks to his vendors every single day, if he provides great levels of customer service, if he gets the property sold in under 21 days, that's going to be the next raving fan, the next advocate for his referral business. So that's a key part of his strategy. I've spoken about this for 10 years, AM, PM energy. So no appointments before 12 p.m. If you're leaving the office before 12 p.m., I think you're not playing the long game. Right? As we said, strong database, 9 to 15 contacts per year. The AM is about prospecting. Please don't overcomplicate this business. If you want to be successful, have a meeting with your team, prospect every single morning, ring your vendors, and every afternoon get face-to-face with 4 or 5 people. And if you follow that formula, there's no question that you'll be incredibly successful. I don't know any other way than saying that, right? Really, really simple stuff. Some old school stuff in there as well. Tom's got a core market fascination, so regular 30-40% market share in his market. Every time he talks to somebody in his marketplace, he writes out a handwritten thank you pad, puts it in the mail, says, dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. I know you're not thinking of selling, but if you ever needed to, please give me a call. Simple stuff, but it works, right? The whole focus is based around leverage for Tom. If he's not prospecting, if he's not doing price adjustments, if he's not delegating, he kind of doesn't feel comfortable in the space that he's in. Alex spoke about this as well, digital pre-list kits for him. No longer waiting an hour or two to get a pre-list kit out, do it immediately, right? SMS goes out straight away to a digital web book with Tom's pre-list kit. He's got a great rewards program in place for all of his referrals, right? So my biggest fear with referral programs is that sometimes somebody gives you a great referral, but then I see salespeople who spend a whole day trying to sort out a referral gift, like jump in the car, go to the shop, buy a basket, hand deliver it, takes like half a day. Just total waste of time, non-productive activity. So Tom's got a great deal with a restaurant, one of the best restaurants in Adelaide. He simply emails the owner, they call the client, they book a dinner for 2, bring them in, then they just send Tom the invoice. Really simple strategy, right? But a great referral strategy. And then has a total core market focus. So how does he get 30-40% market share in that area? Well, he just works at it each and every single day. And so these are really simple things, but as I said, the difference between probably Tom and maybe other agents and maybe you, what makes James Tossovin good, what makes Alexander Phillips good, what makes Tom good, well, these guys, they undertake the same activities, but they just do it every single day. It's relentless. That's what it comes down to. So how do you become relentless, right? Because I think that we all start off with great intention, right? Everybody wants to be relentless. Everybody says, I'd love to get in there every single day, but stuff comes up. How are you going to keep yourself on track, right? And so these are some of the rituals that I work with Tom and some of our guys in our teams to actually keep them motivated and keep them aligned with their goals and where they go. And we're quickly approaching the end. But first and foremost is, have you got a morning routine? If you haven't got a morning routine, I think you're selling yourself short, because it's very hard. You might be different to me, but I got to tell you, I don't wake up every single day in a state of peak performance, excited to go to work. That just doesn't work for me, right? You might be different, right? However, I've got a set of activities that I undertake. I'll get up and I'll exercise, I'll have some quiet time, I'll write in my journal, a few other key little things that I'll do that will get me into a state of peak productivity. So if you haven't got that, it's very hard to be consistent, and that'd be one key ritual I think that you'd want to get into your business quick smart. Just as you've got a morning ritual, there should be an evening ritual as well. Tom's evening ritual: clears emails, writes the new to-do list, sends emails off to the team so he's set up and prepared for the next day, right? Why do you do that? So your head can hit the pillow and actually not be stressed about, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. You need to mind dump and clear yourself, right? Really simple strategy: morning ritual, evening ritual, be prepared. Third one, game changer for you. If you haven't got this in your business, you need to move on it really quick, and that's have a weekly review. This is probably the most important hour in my business life, where I take 1 hour every single week, and the agenda is pretty straightforward. I look at every appointment, I look at my calendar for the last 7 days, and I look at what loops that I need to close. I look at my upcoming 7 days, and I look at the opportunities that I've got coming up and how I can be best prepared for those opportunities. I review my goals, and I get my to-do list done. Really, really simple, but it platforms me and sets me up for the rest of the week, right? World-class business planning, If you've got a one-page business plan with appraisals, listings, sales, and gross commission, and you think that's a plan, you are very, very wrong, right? So Tom has about 9 or 10 prospecting strategies, got business standards in terms of making it very clear with his team as what's acceptable and what's not, job descriptions for the whole team. I do a week, there's a whole range of things in there. So have you got a business plan in place? That's a key ritual for you. Take a day off, and then most importantly, having a really strong focus around health and well-being. So I go as far to say that if you want to grow your business, the easiest way to get to 10 or 20% growth in your business is just get the fittest and healthiest you've ever been, right? Reality is people love to deal with high-energy, healthy people, right? So that is a core focus for Tom and for myself. It's been a key strategy, particularly around resilience and the knocks that you take along the way. If you want to be long-term in this business, get super fit and get super healthy. It's a really simple strategy, but it's served me well over the last 17 years. So we come to closure here, and I want to ask you a question. I want to summarize on this, which is why not, right? So 17 years ago, I sat up the back and I saw John McGrath deliver a presentation. I remember hearing John, and it was on day one, and I remember John saying, look, is there any reason why at the end of ARIC tomorrow at 5 o'clock, when you walk out the back of the double doors, is it possible that if you made one or two key decisions in your life, is it possible you could change your life forever? Yes or no, right? And that was the question that John wrapped up with. And obviously we know the answer to that is absolutely yes. So as a real estate practitioner today, if you make the decision to prospect for 2 hours every single day before midday, 5 days per week for the rest of your working life, will that have a profound impact on your business, yes or no? Categorically, yes. If you make a decision today to take your listing presentation from a 6 out of 10 to an 8 or a 9 or a 10 out of 10, so your conversion rate now goes to 80 to 90% every single time you walk into a lounge room, will that have a profound effect on your business, yes or no? Absolutely, categorically, right? So my question for you is, why are you not doing that, right? Because most of the things that I've heard today, and I've been coming here from 17 years, there's always brilliant ideas and there's things that are evolving, but the core fundamentals of real estate haven't changed. And that is get world class at prospecting, listing, and selling. And so I think if you ask yourself that question, which is why are you not doing those activities that you know you should be doing? And if you can, what lies on the other side of that question, the answer to that, the blockages, the limiting beliefs, every single time you know you should be prospecting, but you start fluffing around on email, or somebody asks you, do you want to go down to the coffee shop and have a coffee at 10 a.m.? Why do you keep saying yes to those silly things when you know what you should be doing? Because I think if you can get to the other side of that space and focus on the things that really matter, have great integrity, high energy, and think long-term with every single conversation that you have, which is don't overcomplicate it. How can I add value to every single person that I speak to, right? And how can I get face-to-face with 3 or 4 people every single day? And I think you're set to have a phenomenal career in real estate, but not only phenomenal, but also longevity for the long term, right? So thank you so much, and you have a wonderful ARIC. Thank you. Cheers.